Welcome to the Profit Scale Thrive podcast. I'm Kelly Brubaker, your host and CPA specializing in empowering law firm owners. Join us as we unlock the secrets to overflowing profits, scaled growth, and thriving lives. This is where overwhelm transforms into confidence, allowing you to truly enjoy both your law firm and your life. Today, I want to talk about your financial statements, and not just any financial statement, actually your key financial statement, your profit and loss, your income statement. Now, I am a CPA and I love numbers. I crunch numbers all day long and I understand what's in the financial statements, but that's because I went to school and I've been an accountant for over 30 years. The secret is that financial statements were not written for you as a business owner. They were written for the finance people. And somewhere along the line, I think a lot of accountants are so overworked and overwhelmed that it just becomes easy to print off a P&L and hand it to a client with the assumption that the client can understand the numbers. And I know how frustrating it is to be handed a report that you have no idea what's going on with this report. What I find is a lot of clients that I've worked with over the years are like, don't even give me my P&L because I really don't care. I just know that I have money in the bank and I'm happy. Or don't give me my P&L because I don't have money in the bank. I'm not happy, but I still don't know what to do with my P&L. And I get it. So hear me out. Most out of the box software, so QuickBooks, and then there's other accounting solutions that I know that are tailored to the legal industry, have a standard out. You open up the P&L, you hit print, and it prints, right? Typically, the out of the box standard version of this report looks something like this. It's your fee revenue, the advanced costs you've collected back from clients, and it gives you a gross revenue number. And then it'll list out your expenses, and it's literally every single one of your expense, bang, bang, bang. Sometimes they're in order of largest to smallest, sometimes alphabetical order by the title, but it would just be like wages, rent, advanced costs billed or paid on behalf of clients, office supplies, software. And then at the bottom of this section is your total expenses, and then net income, which is just your gross revenue minus expenses, gets you to your net income number. Okay. So this is all information that's good, but what if I had a better way? A new P&L. Now it's the same report. It's the same information that I have here, just presented in a different way. And this is something that you're capable of generating in QuickBooks. And I don't have direct access to all the other like Xero and any of the other software programs. I typically work in QuickBooks, but I would imagine most of them can do the same thing. Okay. And so to start off, top revenue is still going to be the same. We still have our fee revenue, our advanced costs we've collected from clients, and we have a gross revenue number. But what's different is that instead of just listing a big, huge block of expenses, is grouping them into something that's more meaningful for you. So in this example, and I just threw out some expenses for illustration. So perhaps we have a group of personnel costs, which would be your wages, your payroll tax, your health insurance. And underneath this section, we now have a subtotal for personnel costs. Like, how great would that be to not have to grab a calculator and add that up? And then maybe we have a section for office costs. So rent, our CAM, and internet costs, and then those subtotal to a cost total, right? And then maybe we have an admin section. We have the cost of your phone, office supplies, and then we subtotal that. And then underneath this, and I apologize because I was running out of room on my whiteboard, but then the total of all of the expenses would come to a total, and I just numbered that B just for the sake of a number. And your net profit, because it would be your gross revenue minus your expenses equals your profit. If you had your choice between these two, which is easier for you to read? that where I put personnel, office, and admin, those are called parent accounts. So parent and child, okay? And you go in there and you go into the chart of accounts, create a new expense item, call it whatever you want this title to be, and then you go into whatever accounts you want to put, whatever sub accounts you want to put in there of. So you would open up the wages expense and you would put sub account of personnel expense. And then it automatically creates this for you. But wouldn't this be nice to have this? I know financial statements are already crazy to look at, but with just a little bit of time invested in reorganizing the format of your P&L to make it into a more meaningful report, and you do it once and then it's updated. It's not like you have to keep doing this every single time. Just do it once, change this format on your chart of accounts. At least that's how it works in QuickBooks. Change the chart of accounts, and then your P&L that you print every time from this point going forward just always is in this new format. Say I need to know what my software and my rent for whatever reason. I'm just picking those two. Instead of two separate numbers and trying to add those up, what if they were already subtotaled for me? Hopefully, this is something that will make your life a. So what do you think? The explanation showing two different P&Ls, and it's the same information, but just taking the time to restructure and change the format a little bit, how much easier it then becomes. Now, I'll admit that your P&L is still not going to answer all the questions you have about your business, which is why when I work with clients, we come up with a dashboard, your key metrics of what you really need to look at, because the information you need to run your firm is so much more than just what you see on your P&L. And the balance sheet, personally, I would rather see a dashboard that is just a snapshot of the top information that I need to know about how to run my firm. But usually a dashboard needs to be manually created, or there's some solutions out there, but they're very expensive. So knowing that you should, as a law firm owner, have direct access at all times to your P&L, or you should be able to call your bookkeeper and say, send me my P&L, and it should take 30 seconds. Just hit the button, generate it, and send it. It's worth investing a little bit of time to reformat the P&L into something that's meaningful for you. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions about today's episode, please let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment below or send me an email to podcast@profitscalethrive.com. And if you know someone who might need to hear this information, please share this episode with them. Or if you're on YouTube, you can tag them below. Be sure to follow and subscribe to get notifications for future episodes. Did you enjoy this episode? Please consider leaving a review. And before I go, remember, profit is something you intentionally plan for in the beginning. It's not a potential bonus at the end of the year. Thanks, and have a great day.